You wake up each morning feeling stuck, like the years have slipped away and you're still the same person. Trapped in old habits, regrets weighing heavy, fearing that real change is impossible at this point in your life. That quiet frustration builds, whispering that maybe this is just how things are meant to be. But deep down, you know it's not. You felt the pull towards something better, yet the fear of starting over holds you back. If that's you right now, you're not alone. And today we're going to change that. If this resonates, hit that like button to show support for this journey, and subscribe to the channel with notifications on so you never miss guidance rooted in timeless Stoic wisdom. Let's dive in. Number 1, accept that change is the nature of life. Everything around you is in constant motion. The seasons shift without pause. People come and go. Fortunes rise and fall. Yet we resist this truth in our own lives, clinging to the familiar even when it no longer serves us. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it." Reinventing yourself begins with accepting this reality calmly. When you stop fighting the flow of change, you free your energy to direct it wisely. This acceptance isn't resignation. It's the foundation of true power. In 2026, let this be your starting point. Embrace change as natural and watch resistance fade. Think of how firewood must burn to warm you, or food must transform to nourish your body. Marcus Aurelius asked, "Frightened of change? But what can exist without it? Nothing in nature stays static, and neither should you." Holding onto an old version of yourself out of fear only leads to stagnation and quiet suffering. Personal reinvention isn't a drastic upheaval. It's aligning with the universal law of transformation. See obstacles as fuel for growth, just as challenges polish a gem. By welcoming change, you turn the inevitable into an ally for becoming stronger and wiser. Many fear that reinvention means losing who they are, but the Stoics teach the opposite. All things are in ceaseless transformation, as Marcus observed, and you are no exception. Your past self has already changed countless times without notice. Resisting this process creates inner conflict. Accepting it brings peace. Start small in 2026. Notice one habit that's outgrown its purpose and release it without judgment. This practice builds resilience, showing you that change doesn't erase you. It refines you into someone more authentic and capable. Seneca wrote that every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Endings feel painful because we attach meaning to what was, but they clear space for what can be. Without letting go of outdated roles, relationships, or beliefs, true reinvention can't take root. View these endings not as losses, but as necessary steps in nature's cycle. In the coming year, reflect nightly on what no longer fits your highest good. Releasing it calmly opens doors you couldn't see before, leading to a life of greater purpose. The fear of change often stems from imagining worst outcomes, yet most never arrive. Epictetus taught that events themselves are neutral. It's our judgments that harm us. Reinventing yourself requires shifting focus from what might go wrong to what you can control right now. Practice this by journaling impressions of change. Question them gently. Over time, you'll see change as opportunity, not threat. This Stoic mindset turns 2026 into a year of deliberate evolution, where you shape your life instead of being shaped by fear. Ultimately, accepting change frees you from the illusion of permanence. Marcus noted that the whole universe is in flux, and despising this leads to unnecessary suffering. Choose instead to flow with it, using each moment to improve. Reinvention isn't about perfection overnight. It's daily alignment with nature's rhythm. Commit to this in 2026, and you'll find a calm strength emerging, one that carries you through any transformation with grace and quiet confidence. Number 2, focus only on what you can control. Life throws endless externals at us: opinions of others, unexpected events, past mistakes. But true reinvention happens within your control. Epictetus began his handbook with this truth. Some things are in our control and others not. Things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and our actions. When you fixate on the uncontrollable, energy drains away from real change. In 2026, draw this line clearly each morning. Commit only to your responses and efforts. Many delay reinvention waiting for perfect conditions, a better job, more money, approval from others. But Epictetus warned that freedom lies in mastering your choices, not externals. No one can chain your will unless you allow it. Start by identifying one area of your life where you've handed control away. Reclaim it through small, consistent actions. This builds unbreakable momentum, turning vague wishes into tangible progress. You have power over your mind, not outside events, as Marcus Aurelius wrote. Realize this, and you find strength. Reinventing yourself means training the mind to respond with virtue, regardless of circumstances. Practice pausing before reacting. Ask if this is in your control. Over months, this habit reshapes your character, making you resilient to setbacks. In 2026, let this be your anchor. Control your judgments, and the path to a new self opens wide. Epictetus advised, don't demand things happen as you wish, but wish them as they happen. This acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It means directing effort where it counts. For personal change, focus on daily disciplines. Reading, exercise, reflection, while releasing worry over outcomes. Results follow naturally from consistent action in your sphere. This Stoic focus eliminates self-sabotage, allowing reinvention to unfold steadily and without force. Often, we blame externals for staying stuck, time, age, circumstances. But Epictetus taught that it's our choices that define us. Even in hardship, you control your attitude and effort. Begin 2026 by auditing your day. What choices truly advance you? Strengthen those, ignore the rest. This practice cultivates self-mastery, where reinvention becomes not a struggle, but a natural expression of your growing inner control. Focusing on the controllable brings profound peace. As Epictetus said, no one has power over everything they want, but you can choose not to want what you lack. Apply this to reinvention. Desire only the virtues and actions within reach. Gratitude for your agency grows, fueling sustained change. In the year ahead, live this daily. You'll emerge transformed, grounded in the quiet power of true freedom. Number 3, let go of the past and limiting beliefs. The past often chains us with regrets, failures, or old identities that no longer fit. Seneca urged, begin at once to live and count each day as a separate life. Reinvention requires releasing yesterday's burdens. They are done, unchangeable. Dwelling on them steals today's potential. In 2026, practice viewing the past as a teacher, not a prison. Extract lessons calmly, then close the door. Marcus Aurelius reflected that persisting in self-deceit harms us most. Limiting beliefs, I'm too old, I always fail, are judgments we impose. Question them directly. Are they true or habits of thought? Replace with reason. You control today's actions, not past outcomes. This shift dissolves barriers, making space for a new narrative rooted in possibility. Epictetus taught that men are disturbed not by things, but by opinions about them. Past hurts disturb only if you keep reviving them. Practice premeditation of adversity, but also of release. Visualize letting go like leaves in autumn. Natural, necessary. Reinvention thrives here. Without shedding old skins, growth stalls. Commit to forgiveness of self and others as a daily act of wisdom. Seneca saw every ending as a new beginning start. Clinging to who you were prevents who you can become. Reflect on identities you've outgrown, roles, habits, stories. Release them without drama. This creates room for virtues to emerge. Courage, discipline, justice. In 2026, journal what you're ready to leave behind. The lightness that follows propels forward motion. Limiting beliefs often hide as protection from failure. But Stoics knew a gem is polished by friction. Past trials shaped your resilience. Denying them weakens you. Embrace them as training, then move on. Reinvention isn't erasing history. It's building upon it wisely. Practice evening review. What served today? What didn't? Adjust calmly, sleep free. Letting go brings clarity and strength. As Marcus wrote, loss is only change in disguise. View the past this way, and reinvention becomes joyful labor. You honor yesterday by living fully today. In the coming year, make release a ritual. Burn old notes symbolically if needed. Freedom awaits on the other side, where a renewed self rises unburdened. Number 4, build daily habits of virtue and discipline. Reinventing yourself demands consistent action, not grand gestures. Epictetus delighted in daily improvement, like tending a farm. Start 2026 with small habits aligned to virtue. Wisdom, courage, justice, temperance. Rise early, reflect, act intentionally. These compound quietly, reshaping character over time. Seneca advised, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. Discipline is love for your future self. Choose discomfort voluntarily, cold showers, focused work to build resilience. Habits of virtue aren't restrictions. They're paths to freedom from impulse. Track them simply, forgive slips persist. Marcus reminded himself to wrestle toward the man philosophy intended. Daily effort matters more than perfection. Read Stoic texts mornings, apply one lesson afternoons. Exercise body and mind equally. This routine forges reliability. You become someone who follows through, no matter mood. If you want to improve, be content to appear foolish at first, Epictetus said. New habits feel awkward, endure it. Virtue grows through repetition, not inspiration alone. In 2026, chain habits, meditation to journaling to movement. Momentum builds, turning discipline into second nature. Stoics practiced voluntary discomfort to prepare for inevitables. Skip a meal, walk in rain, remind yourself you control response. This strengthens will for larger changes. Reinvention relies on this muscle. Train daily, it carries you through doubts and plateaus. Daily habits anchor reinvention in reality. As Aristotle noted, aligned with Stoics, excellence is habit. Choose virtues each day, and by year's end, you'll inhabit a transformed life. Calm persistence wins. Start simply, stay steady, watch the quiet miracle unfold. Number 5, embrace obstacles as opportunities for growth. Setbacks feel like blocks, but Stoics saw them as training. Seneca wrote, "A gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials." In reinvention, obstacles test and refine you. Welcome them calmly. They reveal weaknesses to strengthen. Marcus viewed difficulties as chances to practice virtue. Lost job? Exercise resilience. Failed attempt? Build perseverance. This mindset turns pain into progress. In 2026, reframe each challenge. What virtue does it call for? Act accordingly, grow inevitably. Epictetus taught obstacles show the path when embraced. Resistance wastes energy, using them fuels advance. Reinvention isn't smooth, it's forged in fire. Meet friction directly, learn quickly, adapt wisely. Every obstacle cleared raises your standard. Stoics knew growth hides in discomfort. Push through fear, doubt, fatigue. These are teachers. Reflect after. What improved in you? This practice makes you anti-fragile. thriving amid change. Seneca urged living fully now, for time is fleeting. Obstacles remind us of this. Don't waste them in complaint. Use for character building. Reinvention accelerates here. Trials separate wishers from doers. Embracing obstacles completes the cycle of reinvention. As Marcus said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. In 2026, meet every challenge this way. You'll end the year not just changed, but unbreakable. Wise, calm, profoundly yourself. Number 6. Cultivate inner silence through reflection. The world floods us with noise, notifications, opinions, endless distractions, pulling attention outward and leaving little room for true change. Reinvention begins in quiet, where you meet yourself honestly. Marcus Aurelius wrote his meditations in stillness, examining his soul each day. In 2026, carve out silent time daily, free from input. Sit with your thoughts, observe them without judgment. This practice reveals what truly matters and clears the fog that keeps you stuck. Seneca warned that we suffer more in imagination than reality, and noise amplifies this. Constant stimulation drowns out the inner voice guiding wise choices. Reflection restores clarity. Ask yourself at day's end what went well, what didn't, and why. No blame, only observation. Over time, patterns emerge, habits to keep, ones to release. This calm review turns experience into wisdom, fueling steady reinvention. Epictetus taught that philosophy is practice, not theory. Reflection is that practice, training the mind to see clearly. Begin mornings with 5 minutes of silence. Breathe deeply. Set intentions rooted in virtue. Evenings, review actions against those intentions. This bookends your day with purpose, preventing drift. In the new year, make this non-negotiable. The depth it brings reshapes how you move through life. Many avoid silence because it surfaces discomfort, regrets, fears, emptiness. But facing these calmly is the path to freedom. Marcus reminded himself, retreat into yourself whenever needed. Inner silence isn't escape, it's confrontation with truth. Sit with unease until it softens. What emerges is self-knowledge, the bedrock of lasting change. Commit to this in 2026 and watch inner turmoil quiet into strength. Reflection aligns you with reason, the guiding force Stoics trusted above emotion. Without it, reinvention scatters, chasing trends instead of truth. Journal simple questions. What did I control today? Where did I fall short? How can I improve tomorrow? Honest answers build character gradually. This daily dialogue with self creates continuity, turning scattered efforts into a coherent new life. Inner silence is where true power grows. As distractions fade, you hear the calm voice of wisdom directing your steps. Reinvention isn't forced here. It unfolds naturally from clear seeing. In 2026, protect this space fiercely, 10 minutes morning and night. Over months, you'll carry this stillness into chaos, responding with composure. A reinvented self emerges not from noise, but from the quiet depth you cultivate daily. Number 7, practice gratitude for what remains. We focus on what's missing: youth, opportunities lost, dreams delayed. And this focus blinds us to present gifts. Seneca wrote, "We are not thankful for what we have until we lose it." Reinvention starts with gratitude, shifting attention to what you can build upon now. In 2026, list 3 things daily that remain: health, relationships, lessons learned. This grounds you in reality, not lack. Marcus Aurelius began many entries with thanks for breath, reason, another day. This wasn't blind optimism. It was deliberate choice to see abundance amid hardship. Gratitude dissolves resentment that blocks change. When you appreciate what's here, energy flows toward improvement rather than complaint. Start small. Name one strength you still possess. Build from there. Epictetus reminded slaves and emperors alike, wealth is having few wants. Gratitude trains this mindset, seeing enough in little. Reinvention feels lighter when not weighed by envy or regret. Practice evening gratitude. Recall moments of fortune, however ordinary. Sleep content. Wake ready to act. This habit rewires perception, turning ordinary days into fuel for growth. Loss teaches gratitude's depth. Whatever you've endured, something endures in you. Resilience, insight, capacity to choose. Acknowledge these quietly. They are your foundation for 2026. Comparing to others steals peace. Comparing to your past self reveals progress. Gratitude keeps perspective true, preventing self-pity that stalls reinvention. Gratitude isn't ignoring pain, it's refusing to let pain dominate. Stoics faced hardship, yet chose appreciation for life's gifts. Apply this. When frustration rises, pause and name one thing still good. This interrupts negativity, returning control to you. Over time, the mind defaults to balance, supporting sustained effort toward change. A grateful heart moves forward unburdened. As Seneca said, true happiness is wanting what you have. Reinvention flows from this contentment, not desperate grasping, but calm building. In the year ahead, make gratitude your first thought upon waking. You'll carry lightness into every action, transforming not from force, but from quiet appreciation of a life still yours to shape. Number 8. Seek wisdom from timeless teachers. Alone, we repeat mistakes. Guided by wisdom, we rise faster. The Stoics read daily, lives of great men, philosophy to stay. Number 9. Act with courage in small moments. Big changes begin in small choices most ignore. Courage isn't only grand gestures. It's saying no to comfort daily. Epictetus said, bear and forbear. In 2026, practice courage quietly. Speak truth when easier to stay silent. Begin the hard task first. Endure discomfort without complaint. Marcus reminded himself, at dawn, expect resistance, then do the right thing anyway. Reinvention demands this steady bravery. Fear shrinks when met repeatedly in little ways. Send the message and the draining habit. Face the difficult conversation. Each act builds the muscle for larger leaps. Seneca noted we rehearse death but not daily virtues. Practice courage deliberately. Choose the harder right over easier wrong, even alone. No audience needed. This private integrity shapes character no external reward can match. Track these moments nightly. Their accumulation reveals growth. Courage feels heavy at first, then natural. Stoics trained it like athletes train strength, through repetition. In the new year, set one daily challenge requiring bravery. Complete it before ease. Over months, fear loses grip, replaced by calm confidence in your capacity. Many wait for perfect courage before acting. It never arrives. Begin imperfectly, voice shaking, hands trembling. Action teaches what waiting never does. Reinvention lives in these moments, choosing growth over safety again and again. The self you become honors every small stand taken. True courage is alignment with reason despite feeling. As trials come in 2026, meet them with quiet resolve. Small acts compound into unbreakable spirit. You'll look back astonished, not at dramatic heroics, but the 1,000 ordinary moments you chose to act despite fear. That is how a life is reinvented. Number 10. Live as if this year were your last. Time feels endless until it doesn't. Seneca urged, live each day as a complete life. In 2026, adopt this urgency. Not panic, but clarity. Ask nightly, if this were my final year, would I spend tomorrow this way? This question cuts distraction, focuses effort on what matters. Marcus wrote to himself, Soon you'll forget all will forget you. Act accordingly. Memento Mori sharpens priorities. Reinvention gains momentum when procrastination dies. Delay no longer the person you claim to want to become.